Tonight, Magic Johnson couldn't do it. Barack Obama couldn't do it. Who's up next for the Democratic Party to try to bully black men into voting for Kamala Harris? Enter the strong, independent queens. All that and more on episode number 93 of Up to Speed with Tripp Simpson.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audience.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Art. A to the RT. So many niggas want beef, go to Arby's. Not too many rappers in this game that can stop me feeling cocky. Cause my flow hella stocky. Yeah, and I does this shit. Flow sick, something like when your two cousins kiss. Ill. And y'all niggas know who run this shit. They out of breath. Tell the coach I need 100 bricks. Let me cook them in the oven quick. Take them out when these percussions kick. Yeah, and it was never really a discussion, kids. Trade you to another team like the Russians did. Whoa, what the bitches that be sucking dick? Hit me up, you know I love that shit. Yeah. And it's all go when I touch that bitch. Pass it to me, watch me clutch that shit. Swish, swish.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Up to Speed with Tripp Simpson. I am your host, Tripp Simpson, in the building.
The first of his name, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm.
That's right. And before we get this live stream started today, first and foremost, you know we got to handle business. Let's get it.
Family moving up in the business. I know you're going to look after family.
What family you talking about, Ice?
Fuck, I look invisible, nigga.
That's right. I am not invisible. So if you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that share button for me. And if you are watching live on Facebook or Twitter, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that retweet button. And no matter what platform that you guys are watching on today, do not forget to comment in the live chat below. Let's get it. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot lie. I am extremely proud of the black man this week. I'm extremely proud of the black man. I gotta say, fellas, y'all been letting these clown ass Democrats have it. Y'all been letting them have it. Now, as y'all might have seen or heard, Kamala has gotten so desperate as of late that now she's trying any and everything to get black men to support her. I mean, it got so bad this week that she tried to bring out Magic Johnson. She tried to bring out Magic Johnson at one point to try to sway us to vote for her. All right, so let's check that out real quick. Let's check out Magic Johnson's little punk ass speech. All right, let's go. Let's get it.
Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. There's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on. And we got to make sure we help black men understand that. So that's why I'm here, to make sure I help black men understand. First, get out and vote, and then vote for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
All right, let's stop it right there. Now, wait just a minute, Mr. Magic Johnson. Do y'all see this disrespect? Do y'all see the disrespect? First of all, he didn't give black men one good reason why we should vote for her at all. Second, how does a nigga who raised a man that looks like this, that looks like this, how does a man that raised a son that looks like this have the audacity to lecture us on anything remotely close to what men should be doing? There are two things I'd never ask Magic Johnson for help with. There are two things. I wouldn't ask Magic Johnson for advice on manhood, and I wouldn't ask Magic Johnson on advice when not to wear a rubber. But seriously though, black men, we not going for this bullshit anymore. And I'm proud of y'all this week, man. I'm proud of y'all. All these little stunts they've been trying have been backfiring. All the stunts they've tried have been backfiring. And then later on, that same week, they tried the same thing with Obama, and the shit backfired again. So yeah, let's go to that Obama video real quick, because we're gonna do some cooking tonight for sure. We are gonna do some cooking. So let's get to Obama real quick. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get to this Obama speech, man. Here we go.
We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now,
Let's go back. Can y'all see that?
Is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you.
Now, who is he talking about grew up with us and knows us? I know he's not talking about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris did not grow up with us. Kamala Harris does not know us. Kamala Harris grew up in Canada. And no disrespect to Canada, shout out to Canada, but Kamala Harris is a Canadian by all intents and purposes. She moved from the Oakland, San Francisco area when she was like 5 or 6 years old. She did all of elementary school and all of high school in Canada. So she didn't grow up with us. But I guess coming from somebody like Barack Obama, who didn't grow up with us either, I guess maybe that's acceptable to say. But let's go. Let's continue.
Understands the struggles and
understands the struggles. Come on. I'm telling you, man, these Negroes be killing me. Let's get it.
Pain and joy that comes from those experiences. He said to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second high.
So here we go. Don't need to see no more of that. Obama's just talking off the cuff. He's talking out the back of his ass, man. Now, real quick, what I want to do is I want to show y'all how this backfired. Man, the brothers wasn't playing on X, bro. They wasn't playing. And honestly, Man, bro, I'm telling you, even some of the sisters, even some of the black women were sending shots at Obama. So anyway, what we're going to do real quick is we're going to check out what some of these people had to say on Twitter, Instagram, and social media. All right, so let's get to it.
Highest office in the land.
It gets very interesting. Let's go. All right. It gets very interesting. All right, so boom, here we go.
What should voters, especially young men like yourself, what should they be paying attention to?
First of all, what I can tell you we're not going to be paying attention to is we're not going to be paying attention to all the fluff that Kamala wants us to focus on. I mean, the left just loves to do this feel-good narrative and try to get us to be...
Shout out to BC from the BX. He says, as a Canadian immigrant, she shouldn't even be allowed to run for vice president, let alone president. Facts. Well, technically, she's not a Canadian immigrant. She moved to Canada as a U.S. citizen and came back. So I guess that works however it works. So she is a U.S. citizen. But in that same sentiment, I mean, I don't see how we're supposed to accept her as black Americans like she's one of us when she's clearly not. I don't even know if she's a black Canadian. Could she even be considered that? I don't know. Let's get to it.
Be distracted by social justice causes. We don't care about any of that. Gen Z is frustrated with the fact that we can't afford homes. We can't afford to get married. We can't afford to have children. We have a wide open border. There are almost half as many illegal immigrants in this country as the entire black population. They are essentially trying to replace our voter demographic because so many of us are moving over to the right. I'm concerned about our economy, about our debt. I'm concerned about all the wars that are going on. These are the things that men care about. Men want to be able to protect and provide for our families. But that's something that's becoming increasingly difficult, all because of the trilogy of Obama, Biden, and Harris. They're destroying our country. They are demoralizing our country. They tell us that masculinity is bad because they don't want us to be able to protect our own families. We just saw 158 Democrats voting against kicking out sex offenders that are immigrants in our country. Yeah. Why would you be against that unless you don't want to see women be protected?
I love your response to Barack Obama shaming you and other young men.
So yeah, so like I'll tell you, the responses are crazy. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna go to another one. Actually, I think he's on this next video too.
A former BLM activist, and Anton Daniels, a YouTuber, content creator. Xavier, let's start with you. You say you were personally, after watching them, offended by Obama's comments?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, Obama's not as talented of a liar as he used to be, but
fatality. That is facts. Obama definitely looked like he was slipping up there. Old gray Obama is not as good as young Obama. Not at all.
Quite frankly, my ancestors fought way too hard for me to have the ability to learn how to read, just for Obama to expect me to be so uneducated to think that I would vote for Kamala Harris simply because she claims to be a black woman. And I mean, if people want to stop having Kamala Harris be called a DEI hire, maybe he should stop trying to remind us of her demographic every 5 minutes.
Facts.
Black men not supporting Kamala has nothing to do with her being a woman. It has everything to do with her lack of accomplishments over the last 1,359 days.
Well, Anton, I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, the shtick is kind of worn thin with Obama, you know. How you doing, Pittsburgh? You know, that whole, it just seems very 2002 or 2008, I should say. Right? It doesn't quite have the same appeal, as megastar-ish as he is.
You know, it's a Hail Mary pass, considering that we did vote him in based off of identity politics. And I'm not saying that all is bad, because he did do some things that I didn't necessarily disagree with that Trump absolutely did better than him. But at the same time, I felt that it was incredibly disrespectful because he's making the assumption that we're not educated enough to lead our families, to look at the policies, to understand exactly what's going on with immigration, and we're supposed to overlook everything that they did over the last 3.5 years that was not in our favor. And when I say our, I'm talking about the American people, let alone men, let alone black men, and we're supposed to vote for her because of some misogynistic reason that's made up. And instead, we've learned how to educate ourselves, and now they've sent their Messiah back to rein us in and bring us back into the Democratic plantation. And most men that I've spoken with have said that it's absolutely disrespectful and we're done with Obama.
Well, Xavier, I get...
Facts, man. And let's go. We're gonna keep going down the timeline, man. They was lighting them up. Let's go.
Turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities, as we saw when I was running. And that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
Wow, they must really be terrified. They didn't brought out the big guns, Obama. They're starting to realize that more and more of us have been waking up and seeing how they try to get us to vote, not for the person who's best for our communities and who has the best policies that are going to bring positive change, but they want us to vote based on skin color. We see how Kamala...
Facts, and that's one thing I've been telling y'all this whole time. Black man, listen to me real quick. If you care about the black community, the only thing you can do at this point is let go and let God. You have to let go and let God. The community is too overwritten and controlled by the women. And that's not a dig at the women. It's just not their natural place to lead the community. It's not their place. They've been leading the community for the past 50 years and look where it's gotten us. And the men are like, we've had enough. We've had enough. And it all starts with the Democratic Party. It all starts with the Democratic Party. Everything that these people are about are totally against family and community. And the biggest problem that the black community has is we have broken families. Excuse me, we have broken communities by way of broken families. And the Democratic Party has made it clear they don't care about families. Let's go.
Kamala Harris did black men when she was the top cop in California, Jamar Truelove. We see how she locked up a single black...
Shout out to my man, Tony Ferguson. Trump 2024, you already know. Ferg, you already know what it is, man.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about?
Let's get it.
Mother, because her child missed too much school, when in reality the child had sickle cell anemia and was in the hospital. You see how she was brought in as the first black woman vice president, played a part in our cost of living going up, our groceries going up, our gas going up, our border being let open for the entire world to come in, and people who've come here illegally getting preferential treatment over people who've been in these communities for decades. Our children being put last, illegal immigrants' children being put first. We see how the media told us that Trump was going to be the one to start World War III, and how under the Biden-Harris administration, we're on the brink of it. We see how the Democrat Party has failed our community, how they've hidden their history of trying to continue slavery, trying to keep blacks from voting, trying to keep Jim Crow going, being the party of the Klan, how they would take us out, and I ain't talking about to eat, when we chose to vote Republican. We see how they have Planned Parenthood buses outside of their conventions and target our community. How insulting is it that this man gets up there and tells us that we should vote for Kamala because we're black? Sorry, Obama, the gig is up. It's over.
But yeah, we gonna let these niggas continue to cook Obama. Let's go. We gonna let these niggas cook Obama.
That watched your policies not do a single thing for black people.
There we go.
As a native of Chicago, that watched your policies not do a single thing for black people. Not anything for crime, not anything for a better way of living. It is insulting that you decided to get up here and pander us as black men for not voting for Kamala Harris. You are only voting for Kamala yourself because you have no choice. We both know that deep down inside, you wanted the open convention, but the optics didn't look good. We also both know that there were way better candidates that you guys could have went with for president, but you guys didn't. And so now they bring you out, the big guns, because they need you to come up here and clean up this mess. Because you know what? You are a well-spoken man. Because I can tell you right now that your nominee is not. I can tell you that your nominee doesn't answer questions. Your nominee stutters all the time, and she spits out word salads. And you expect for us to vote for her. I'm black. I'm not stupid.
Let's get it. All right, I'm gonna let this brother keep cooking. Let's go.
I vote for policies. I vote for what's going to allow for my way of living to change. I vote so that everyone can have a chance and continue to be a free thinker and not have censorship.
Do y'all hear that? These are the things that black men, and really men in general, these are the things that we care about. You don't hear any of these people on here talking about their right to be sexually irresponsible. But if you talk to the average woman, that's their biggest concern. The men care about society as a whole and how we're going to function. The only thing that the women care about, not all women, I'm not grouping all y'all in the same category, but for the most part, most women think that the biggest issue we have in America is the right to delete your own baby. When in fact, we should probably ease up on baby deletion because we're at a negative birth rate at this point. We're at a negative birth rate. And you would think that the black women and the black community would be the main ones against this nonsense, considering the fact that we've already killed 24 million children since 1973. And you can go and look that up. 24 million since 1973. There's only 44 million of us. We have killed over 50% of our community through that policy. But you guys want more of it. It's crazy, man. Let's go.
And then you got up here on this stage and insulted every black man in America. And it's not okay. And so now you guys are sitting here and you want us to vote for this administration who has caused the highest inflation, grocery prices suck, and they let everybody in the border. And if I remember Barack Obama, you were the deporter in chief. You deported over 3 million people. And for your nominee to not even be smart enough that when someone asks her a question, what would she do differently than what Joe Biden did, and her to say nothing is even more wild. So before you decide to get up here and attack every single black man on this planet, I want you to take a self-reflection and think about the behaviors that you're doing and that you're trying to put on us because we don't want to vote for Kamala.
This nigga's cooking. Let's go, man.
I want you to really look down deep inside of yourself and say, would you really vote for her if you wasn't a part of the Democratic Party? If it wasn't your job, would you really vote for her? I'm pretty sure you wouldn't. Because the scrutiny that you went through to become president, she hasn't even went through. No one voted for her at all. You guys inserted her. And so now here you come, being the sweeper in chief to try to clean up the mess. But I got a surprise for you, Barack. We're going to continue to be free thinkers. We're going to continue to fight people who want to censor us. We're going to continue to be the people that we need to be because we are starting to arise. Because I don't like the word woke. We are starting to arise to the occasion so that we can create a better America where Democrats and conservatives and independents can live freely and prosperous.
All right, let's go. Let's go now. Now, I think out of all the bombshells that were dropped by black men on the Harrison Walls campaign this week, I think Lord Jamar's interview on the Art of Dialogue may have done the most damage, right? And Lord Jamar is not the most famous rapper ever, but for some reason, when he does certain interviews, they go viral. And his recent interview on the Art of Dialogue has gone viral, and it resonates with a lot of black men. It has the energy that a lot of black men have had this week because we've been insulted over and over and over again by the Harrison Walls campaign. First you bring out a dude who I ain't gonna get on Magic Johnson, right? You brought out Magic Johnson. We'll leave Magic alone. He's got his own problems. Then you bring out Barack Obama, who wants to berate us because we can read. He wants to scold us because we can see clearly what's been going on the past 3.5, 4 years. And it's mind-blowing because you don't scold anyone else. You don't see Obama scolding Asian men. You don't see him scolding Hispanic men. He's scolding black men because they really think that they own us. The Democratic Party really thinks that they own us. Now, granted, there's still a large portion of black men that they own, for sure. But it's slipping by the day. It is slipping by the day. All right, but anyway, we're going to get into this Lord Jamar. Let's get into this Lord Jamar video. Let's go.
Kamala, how you feel about her?
I'm not fucking with her. Her and the fucking and the Ganji she rode in on.
Niggas cooking already. Let's go.
God damn it. She's insulting to black people. First of all, she's not black. Okay? And when I say black, I mean like a foundational black American, somebody that grew up with black American culture. Okay? She does not understand us, regardless if she went to Howard and became an AKA. You know, plenty of white people go to Howard, fucking Chinese people. You don't have to be black to go to a fucking HBCU, and that does not make you black. Her circle of friends was not black. She's being disingenuous by even calling herself Kamala Harris. Her last name is Emhoff, okay?
Let's go.
She's married to a man named Emhoff, okay? That's her last fucking name. Why are you not leading with that? I'll tell you why. Because you want to fucking pretend that you're black, but to get the black vote, okay? I knew what they were going to do with her the minute they brought her in. I said, oh, they brought a female Obama in. She looks like Obama. You know, she got the same phonetics Obama, Kamala. Like, it's the same. They tried to do the same shit, but she fell short because she's not the same type of orator that this guy is. She's a diggy broad. She cackles all the fucking time. She lies. She doesn't answer a fucking question. Not once in that debate did she answer anything that was asked of her. So she thinks that we are stupid and that we are just gonna vote for her off of identity politics. I'm sorry, sir, but we know that women are emotional by nature. Like, let's just keep it real. All of this trying to make history and all of this type of shit is some bullshit. We don't need a woman. When's the last time you had a beef or you saw a gang of dudes going into war and they had a woman in the front leading them? That's retarded, and you wouldn't want to see it. You wouldn't want to be a part of that fucking group. You wouldn't, you know what I mean? But like, why is she in the front? That makes no fucking sense. This woman, to me, is not qualified to run, you know, a Dunkin' Donuts or a 7-Eleven.
I don't know, bro. She might be qualified to run a 7-Eleven.
Blood clot.
Let's go.
Let her alone the corporation that we call the United States of America. People want to act like Trump is the worst motherfucker in the world, but guess what? He was already president, and all this shit you're talking about didn't happen.
Yo, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in or you've been tuning in, hit the like button. Hit the share button, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Hit those buttons for me. Also, comment in the live chat below. Let's help this video get off into the algorithm. Let's get it.
He didn't make himself a dictator, and this whole shit about he's gonna make himself a dictator is really taken so out of context that it's ridiculous. He said he'd make himself a dictator on the first day, you know, to implement some shit, and then, you know, but that was, trust me, said tongue in cheek. It was not said seriously. Y'all already living in Project 2024. Okay, you worried about Project 2025 when they already ran Project 2020 on you with the scandemic and all that fucking bullshit. Like, what the fuck are y'all really even talking about? Y'all trying to act like, scare me into thinking that he's so bad that I should just vote for this broad just because. But guess what? I feel that she's so bad. She's the one that scares me. So I feel that she's so bad that guess what? I might just go fuck around and vote for Trump.
Let's get it.
And this is my first time saying this out loud. But y'all motherfuckers think you're gonna shame somebody or bully a nigga into voting for this bitch? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And now you're gonna make me be Mr. Anti. You keep coming at me with this bullshit. You keep coming at me talking about, oh, it's a shame that you're not supporting a black woman. She's not black. She's Indian. She ain't black. Fuck out of here. Yeah, listen, I don't give a trust me, the sentiment on the street in the real world is a lot of people are not with this woman. They see right through her, and they're trying to blame it on black men, but no, I see a lot of black women that are not fucking with her neither.
And that's a fact, man. That's a fact. Let me get to part 2 of this real quick. Let's get to part 2. My man is cooking out here. Let's go.
So you rocking with Trump? I can say that, right?
Listen, yeah, I feel like I do rock with Trump.
Look at my African American over here.
Let's go. Let's get it.
Are you the greatest?
Let's
you know
get
what
it.
I'm talking about?
I'm gonna go ahead and say it out loud. Like I've been to myself, you know, because the way they try to shame people and the way they make you feel, it's almost like you gotta look around like, yeah, I fuck with Trump. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I fuck with Trump over Kamala. And if you say he's racist, well, guess what? I like my racists outward. I don't like racists who hide in the background and pretend to be my friend, but really they're stabbing me in the knife with the back. But here's the thing, Trump is not racist. And the only time that y'all started saying he was racist is when he started running for president. Before that, black people and the black community loved Trump. He was in all the fucking raps. Fucking,
he was all on his nuts.
Right. And then if you look at the thing he's done, like he helped, he supported Jesse Jackson's run for the presidency back then. He helped fund it. People don't know that. When Jennifer Hudson, this happened with her family and all of that, he fucking put her up and all kinds of shit. Like,
So there we have it, man. If you want to watch the rest of this interview, man, go to the Art of Dialogue channel. Great channel. Great channel. You can watch the rest of that video. But yeah, man, there we have it, yo. As you can see, there is a very significant portion of black men who aren't having it anymore. And I know it may seem just like I'm hand selecting a few people talking smack out of nowhere about Obama and supporting Trump, but I promise you, this is the sentiment of a lot of black men. This is the sentiment of a lot of black men. Even liberal ass CNN had to admit it. Even CNN had to admit it. Check this out. CNN showed a recent poll, and the poll pretty much proves that black men are rolling with Republicans in record numbers. All right, so let's get to it, bro. Let's go. Let's get to it.
November of 2012, what do you see?
Hold on, let's go back.
Sometimes there's a trend line that I never noticed before and make me go, whoa. This is one of them, all right? This is the Democratic margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections. You go back to November of 2012, what do you see? You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points. That is about half the margin that Obama won them by.
Take the weed and leave the money now.
Take the what and left the what? It's not a game out here. It is not a game. It's not. Listen, like I said a couple shows back, young black men are not playing games out here. We're not like these old niggas. We're not like them. Now, I know this might not seem like a lot of people, but definitely it is. If you look at where Obama was in 2012, like he's showing you right there, at 81 points up, Kamala Harris has less than 50%. She's lost 50% of the Democratic vote. 50%. In young black men, 18 to 44. This is major.
Back in November of 2012, and this I think is, when Barack Obama goes in last week when he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, essentially talking to young black men, he made it seem like it was a Kamala Harris specific problem. This is part of a long-standing trend of young black men moving away from the Democratic Party, and Kamala Harris is just the latest to face that magnitude of younger black men going towards the Republicans.
That was most interesting here is the trend line and where some of the biggest drops happened or already happened in this case. How about black men overall?
How about black men overall? It's part of the same picture, We're looking once again at younger black men. It looks like the worst Democratic performance since 1960, since JFK versus Richard Nixon. It's the same thing among black men overall. Again, part of a similar trend, but here actually the drop-off isn't as dramatic, right? Barack Obama won him by 85, then you see 71 with Clinton, 69, Biden, basically the same thing, holding steady. But here, again, very, very weak, only a 54-point margin. Now again, still winning them by a large margin, but considerably lower than what we're used to, certainly considerably lower what we had during the Obama years. The bottom line is Kamala Harris with younger black men and then black men overall putting in historically weak performance for a Democratic
candidate. Is she getting it?
And there we have it, people. The black men have spoken. Not all black men, but enough of us have spoken. And this is just a poll. I think that come election day, we're going to find that it's going to be far more black men who are going to turn their backs on the Democratic Party. I think that this poll is just a small foreshadow. I think it's much larger than that. I definitely do. Now, I got to address this bullshit I came across yesterday on Baller Alert. And that's going to start our main topic tonight, because it appears as if the Democrats and their black media flunkies are trying to start a gender war. That's right. The Democrats are so upset with the lack of support for Kamala Harris from black men that now they're going above and beyond to single us out. Now, look, recently, I'll say this, recently, the Harris Walls campaign came out with their plan for black men. Their plan for black men. And Baller Alert posted about it yesterday morning. And the majority of the black men who commented on the post basically saw it for what it was. I want to show y'all this because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And it's to the point that we're going to stay on today, which is black men ain't going for that shit. All right, so let me get to this Baller Alert post. I think this is it right here. Yep. Boom, there it is. I'm gonna make that. All right, boom. So let's go through this, man. So yeah, since Kamala Harris launches historic plan to boost economic freedom and opportunity for black men in America. Right, so, okay, so they go through it, right? They talk about what the plan is and this and this and that. And we're gonna get to that plan later. That's why I'm not gonna read all this shit. Because we're gonna go through the plan. Oh yes, we're gonna go through the plan. But anyway, if you just look at the comments, bro, the majority of the comments from black men tell the story. Comment from Right Wing Angel. He says, funny how this comes after all the reports of her having not much support for black men. She's just buying votes. Here you go. See, my comment is, forgivable loans, just like the PPP loans that were forgiven by Trump and then under Biden-Harris administration were miraculously denied. Too little too late, Trump 2024.
Look at my African American over here.
You already know how I'm going.
Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about?
But let's go. Someone says, why didn't she do it while she was VP? Just another plot to fool the people. We're sick of it. Another person says, girl, anyway, Trump 2024. Another person says, we ain't falling for it, too little too late, Trump 2024. 619 likes. Another person says, just like Joe was going to wipe out student debt. Ha 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 ha. Another person says, only time I hear about them helping black people is when it's voting time. Another person says, mama bye, we voting Trump. Another person says, Democrats promise everything when an election is weeks away. Don't fall for the same BS. Here we go. Let's go, man. Somebody says, after she locked up so many black men, why didn't you pass it with Biden while in office? Here we go. Somebody says, not interested. Why didn't you and Joe do that years ago? Trump 2024. Another person says, why didn't she do it while she was VP? Y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. Y'all get the point, bro. Y'all get the point. Like I said, thousands of comments. Thousands and thousands of comments. And you can see clearly that the majority of black men and a lot of black women weren't going for the bullshit that Kamala's trying to cook up. And the funny part here is, right? The funny part here is the response from Baller Alert on the very next post. The response from Baller Alert on the very next post was crazy. Now, I'm not sure if this was a direct post from the owner of Baller Alert, who by all accounts is a big-time black female Democrat. I'm not sure if she posted it. But no matter who the post came from in this organization, it speaks volumes on their credibility as a valid source of non-biased media. Check this out. Check this out. Look what they put. Hold on, let me get to it. Give me a second. Boom. Let me can make that larger. The next post was, black women will still march for black men that disrespect us. Let me read that one more time for you. It says, black women will still march for black men that disrespect us. Well, you know what I say to that?
Now I done told your ass, if you want something slow and green, you better get you a turtle, ho.
Now what the hell is this? What the hell is this supposed to mean exactly? Now, while she gives absolutely no context as to who or what she's talking about, the only reasonable conclusion to be made is that she's talking about the black men who refuse to support Kamala Harris and her presidential campaign. Now, to me, this is some of the most egregiously unprofessional shit I've witnessed. This is some of the most egregiously unprofessional shit I've witnessed from a so-called media company that's supposed to be unbiased in a very long time. Well, with the exception of MSNBC. Nobody tops MSNBC. Right, but anyway, man, it's crazy to me how just they think it's cool that they can just come out and just outright disrespect this significant of a portion of your audience in black men, right? This is crazy. First off though, let me say this. And I'm speaking for the free thinking straight black men. Shout out to Minister Jap. I'm speaking for the free thinking straight black men. We don't need none of y'all to march or protest for us for anything. Marching and protesting hasn't done a goddamn thing to improve the socioeconomic outcomes of black Americans in America ever. Whether it's men or women doing it. It's a waste of damn time. So if you think you're doing black men any favors by claiming to march for us whenever the media sensationalizes a police altercation, you're not. You want to do the black man a favor? Stop normalizing baby mama culture. You want to do the black man a favor? Stop using the family court system as a weapon against black men when the relationship doesn't work out. You want to do the black man a favor? Learn how to cook. You want to do the black man a favor? Learn how to clean. You want to do the black man a favor? Learn how to be a goddamn wife instead of a competitor. You want to do the black man? You want to do the black man a favor? Learn how to hold your toxic tongue. Stop wearing ridiculous wigs and weaves. Stop idolizing whores and harlots. And most importantly, if you want to do the black man a favor, stop pushing this feminist nonsense onto the community. We are almost 60 years in, and it still hasn't worked. Black men are fed up with the bullshit. We will not continue to blindly follow you to hell along with the Democratic Party. There is nothing about anything these people stand for that's conducive to a thriving community or a country for that matter. But y'all are too goddamn selfish to see past it because you're too focused on getting your bragging rights as black women. That's all this is about. Your ability to shit on other groups of women because a black woman made president first. And the whole time the goddamn joke is on you because she ain't even black. Candace Owens already proved that this woman lied about every black ancestor she claims to have. But damn that. Damn that. Even if this woman was black, which she is not, but even if she was, she's still an idiot and she's still a fraud. This woman literally slept her way into public office. And this is who y'all want us to vote for? She was 29 years old and took advantage of a 60-something-year-old man, a 67-year-old senior citizen, to get where she got in the state of California. And this is who y'all want me to vote for. Shout out to Gilded Quan. He says, what's up, Mo? What's good? We going crazy over here tonight, man. I'm going to open up the phone line soon if you want to chime in on some politics type shit. What's good, though, bro? But nah, man, we got to cook this, bro. Man, listen, did y'all see her the other day? Did y'all see her on the Telemundo or Univision, whatever? It was one of them Spanish channels. Did y'all see her on the Telemundo Town Hall? This chick is doing a town hall meeting with a teleprompter. A teleprompter. Which can only mean one thing. It means it wasn't even a real town hall meeting because it was scripted.
Now I done told your ass, if you want something slow and green, you better get you a turtle, ho.
Let's go to the Telemundo Town Hall, man. I can't do this, man. Let's go to the Telemundo Town Hall. Let's go, man. We gotta pull up the receipts, man. Where's the Telemundo Town Hall? Come on, let's go. Where is it? Where is it? Shit. Somewhere, hold on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Telemundo Town Hall. Let's go, bro. Where's that? All right, here we go. Bam.
Victim of crime. Are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? The only question
Look at that shit. She's reading off a teleprompter. Let's go back.
Victim of crime. Are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? The only question I ever ask is, are you okay? And sadly, we have seen over the last 2 weeks.
Bro. I don't understand how you people don't see it, man. Let's go.
Since Hurricane Helene, victim of crime. Are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? The only question I ever ask is, are you okay?
And there it is right there. There it is right there. Look at that. She's reading the answers to a town hall meeting that's supposed to be a random question. She's reading the answer to the question on a teleprompter. You cannot make this up. You can't make this up. You can't. This is crazy, bro. And the sad part is that even with the scripted questions and the answers on the teleprompter, she still flopped. That's how you know this woman is in over her head. 60 Minutes literally cheated for her. They literally changed her entire answer about the Netanyahu situation. On the promotional clip that they put out before the entire interview was released, she said one thing, and then they realized how dumb she sounded and edited it once the final interview came out. You don't believe me? Let's get to the proof. Let's get to the proof, man. This is crazy. This is crazy, bro. Let's get to the proof, man. All right, so where's this shit at? Here we go, right here.
Netanyahu is not, but it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by...
Bruh. Where are the... Somebody who supports Kamala Harris, you're getting ready to get your chance in about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and if you support Kamala Harris, well, no matter who you support, I want to hear from you. If you just want to call and agree with me, that's fine. But especially if you support Kamala Harris, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and I want you to call up and tell me how I'm wrong. Because this is absolutely insane. Okay, let's go back.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen.
That shit don't make no sense. I see why they edited it, but let's go.
In the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
So y'all see that. Y'all see that for yourselves. They edited the shit. Now the sad part here is that both answers were dumb as hell. Both answers were dumb as hell. But to my point, black men not supporting Kamala Harris in droves has very little to do with her being a woman and more to do with her being unqualified and just outright not possessing the necessary attributes to take on the responsibility of the leader of the free world. Just like every other group in America. Just like every other group in America can see this clearly. They can all see this clearly. Black men see it clearly now too. I mean, it's blatant at this point. And honestly, I find it very weird that we are the only ones getting flack for this. Because black women have definitely dipped in support of Kamala Harris as well. But you know what? They're not going to come out and disrespect black women because number one, black women are sensitive and they don't play that shit. But they won't come out and say anything about black women, even though their support has dipped too. Their support has dipped too. Let's get it, man.
Any relief with black women?
All right. So, you know, we're talking about the trend line, right? And black women, look, she's doing better with black women than she is doing among black men. But here, there isn't a trend line almost until we get to Kamala Harris. So again, this is a black margin among black women. Look, Obama won him by 93, very large margin. Clinton won him by 93, a very large margin. Biden did a little bit worse at 85. But then you look here, and you get a 71.
Now, how did Obama totally overlap this? How did Obama not see that Kamala Harris, okay, yeah, she's 50% less than 50%, 60% lower than what he did in 2012. But how does he not notice that black women are a whole 22 points down than what they were in 2012? How does he not notice that? Why does he not say anything to black women? Well, you know why he's not gonna say nothing. And honestly, I respect black women in that regard, because if he would have said something, then that would have definitely been the end. That would have definitely been the end. But as you can see, black women are not falling for the shit either. They want you to believe that black women are scolding black men into voting for this broad. But in actuality, there's more and more black women who are woken up too. And they're tired of the nonsense. They're tired of the fact that they've been duped into being strong, independent queens. You know what I mean? You know how many black single mothers I know that are in their 40s and late 30s now that will tell you they were duped into thinking that single motherhood was some type of fucking act of valor? They were duped into thinking this shit until you really in it. And then you realize, like, wow, there's no winning at this. Especially if you got multiple kids. If you're a multiple kid single mother, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You'll be lucky if you get the scraps. So yeah, black women are awake too. Not as much as black men, but at the same time, progress is progress, man. Progress is progress.
Point margin. Now again, these are large margins, but the bottom line is when you're talking about the base of the Democratic Party, you would think that Kamala Harris would do very well among black women based upon history, and of course she would be the first black woman president, but she's actually doing the worst for a Democratic candidate among black women since 1960.
So there we have it. There we have it. And honestly, it's clear her campaign is in a state of panic at this point. You don't have black men or black women. Well, you have black women for sure, but it's waning. And like we pointed out earlier from the Baller Alert post, now she's going around claiming she's got a so-called plan for black men. And to her credit, she sort of went into some details about this plan in an interview released yesterday by the Shade Room of all places. So we're going to get into the Shade Room interview, and then we're going to break down this plan. Then we'll take some calls and we'll get out of here. But let's get into the Shade Room interview. We're not going to play the whole interview. We're going to play about 7 or 8 minutes of that interview. We'll get to the key points, and then we'll break some things down. All right? All right, let's do this.
And that sense of family, that then we give each other a hard time about which school does what.
It's good fun.
It's good. It's good fun. It's good fun.
Obviously, we're walking into a week where, you've been talking about real.
Let me say this, though. Let me say this real quick. The title of this video is Kamala Harris steps in with Justin Carter to discuss how she'll deliver for black men. How out of touch is this woman's campaign? How do you think you're going to get the message across to black men by going to the Shade Room, which is essentially a place for women, and then this is the black man? This is the black man that you choose to interview her? I mean, just off the optics alone, you lose. Off the optics alone, you lose. Black men, this is why I'm telling you. And I got an argument with my good friend Juice Man Dan earlier about her policy. And we're going to bring that up later. We're going to bring the policy up and we're going to break that down. Juice Man Dan, if you're watching, this is what I'm telling you, bro. This is how out of touch she is. She wants to appeal to black men, but she goes to the Shade Room to give the first interview about the plan, and this is the nigga who she picks to do the interview. If I'm running the Kamala Harris campaign, I'm like, no, this is not what black men want. But they're just out of touch, bro. This is why she's gonna lose.
encouraging black men specifically to get out and vote. And I do want to talk about the numbers. I crunched some numbers at 3 o'clock this morning. Okay. There was a poll on Saturday. It said that almost 80% of likely black voters would vote for you if the election were held today. In 2020, though, it was 90% of black voters overall. That was from the New York Times and Siena College. And then in 2016, they also had a poll, the Pew Research Center. They said 81% of black men voted for Hillary Clinton, 14% voted for Trump. In 2020, though, that number jumped 6%. So 87% of black men voted for Biden, 12% voted for Trump in 2020. So when you hear those numbers and you're seeing, in the polls, and you're seeing black men aren't as, quote, excited or fired up for you, how do you respond to that?
Well, that's not my experience.
Okay.
One is...
The numbers aren't her experience. Okay. Okay.
It's not my experience. 2, election day has not arrived yet.
Okay.
And the third point that is probably the most important point is this. When journalists ask me this question, I often will say to them that let's be clear that your underlying premise is not an assumption that I'm supposed to have black men in my back pocket in terms of their vote, and that I should be taking that for granted, because I don't. Black men are no different from anybody else. They expect that you have to earn their vote. And that's why I'm out here doing the work that I'm doing about talking with folks, listening with folks, because I'm running for president of the United States. And it is incumbent on me to earn.
Bro. Like, I just don't get it, man. No one stopped, like, the word salads. Everybody talks about the word salads, and she just continues to come out with word salads. Like, this has got to be the worst presidential campaign I've ever witnessed. And I've been around since, what? The freaking Reagan campaign? In the early 80s? I was born in 84. I've been around since Reagan. This is the worst. This is worse than Ross Perot. This is worse than Ross Perot's campaign. This is worse than Dan Quayle. This is among the worst that we've ever seen. But yet you some of you black people are telling me that I need to vote for her? For what? Look at this. I've seen potatoes with more personality than this woman.
Earn this support. And that is why I'm talking with folks about the work that I have done in my career, whether it be in particular as vice president, what I've done to put more billions of dollars actually into community banks to increase access to capital for small business owners. Even before I was running for president, I convened a bunch of black small business owners, all who were men, and I purposely convened them.
All right, let's get to the point. Let's skip to the point. I was going to play more of this interview, but let's get to the point. Let's get to it. Let's go.
Individual who is also quite unstable and unfit to be president of the United States. Those are the stakes at play in this election.
One more thing I want to ask you before you go, and I think it's the fun part. I want to ask you about your plan for black men.
Yes.
It's something huge
yes.
that you have just released this
yes.
week. We're talking about 1 million loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000
right.
to black entrepreneurs, men and women,
yes.
correct?
Now I done told your ass, if you want something slow and green, you better get you a turtle, ho.
Expanding access to bank accounts, expanding the child tax credit, many things that you're doing. Housing, lowering rent, making it affordable to buy a house for first-time home buyers.
Right.
Talk to me about this
yes.
plan, just in summary, and how this will impact not only black men but all black people.
Sure. So look, I grew up in the middle class.
Literally, Saturday Night Live literally made a joke about her answering questions, starting off with, I grew up in the middle class. And yet again, she starts off the shit like it's either three things. Either she's totally oblivious, her handlers are totally oblivious, she's retarded, or four, all the above. I mean, after everyone's been making fun of you for saying that you came up in the middle class after a question that has nothing to do with that, you continue to do it. I cannot wait to November 5th. I cannot wait. This has got to stop. Either Trump's going to win and become the next president, or Kamala's going to cheat and we're going to have to deal with it. But I cannot take another second of this goddamn campaign. I cannot.
My mother worked hard. She saved up. And by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy
The question was, what's your plan for black men?
our first home. I will never forget where I came from. Okay, by the way, my opponent, Donald Trump, was handed $400 million basically on a silver platter and filed for bankruptcy 6 times. So just keep that in mind about who's coming from where. I know the ambitions, the aspirations, the incredible work ethic that exists in our community. I know the dreams that exist, but not everyone has started out on the same base. In terms
Jesus Christ. All you have to do is tell this man what your plan is for black men.
of being able to realize their goals and their dreams. So my plan is to build what I call an opportunity economy, which means giving people an opportunity to actually achieve those ambitions, those goals, and those dreams. So for example, housing is too expensive. The American dream is something that previous generations could kind of count on, but no more. So one part of the problem is that we have a supply issue in terms of housing supply. My plan includes working with developers to do what we, and home.
Maybe I'm crazy, but did she mention anything about what she plans to do for black men? Did she mention anything? Let's go back. She's been talking for quite some time.
In our community, I know the dreams that exist. Our first home. I will never.
The fun part. I want to ask you about your plan for black men.
Yeah. We're
gonna start
something
over.
huge.
Yeah.
That you have just released this week. We're talking about 1 million loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000
Right.
to black entrepreneurs, men and women.
Yes.
Correct. Expanding access to bank accounts, expanding the child tax credit. Many things that you're
Housing.
doing.
Don't
Housing,
forget my housing.
lowering rent, making it affordable to buy a house for
Yes.
first-time home buyers.
Correct.
Talk to me about this
Yes.
plan, just in summary, and how this will impact not only black men, but all black people.
Sure. So look, I grew up in the middle class. My mother worked hard, she saved up, and by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy our first home. I will never forget where I came from. Okay, by the way, my opponent...
Like I said, she never said, like I thought I missed something. That's why I had to go back. Like, she never said anything about the plan. All right, let's go back to where we were. We'll go back to where we were. Let's see if she says anything about the
that
plan.
we have a supply issue in terms of housing supply. My plan includes working with developers to do what we, and home builders, to create incentives for them to build 3 million new homes by the end of my first term. The second part, which is equally important, if not more, is to give people, first-time home buyers, a $25,000 down payment assistance. Because what you and I know is a lot of folks want to be a homeowner, but they don't come from money. They don't come from some families that can necessarily give them or pass on a home or give them the equity out of their home to help them with the down payment. $25,000 down payment assistance just helps people get through get their foot in the door to then save up to cover a mortgage. $6,000 child tax credit. I'm expanding the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families so that in the first year of their child's life, they have the resources they need to buy a crib, a car seat, clothes, knowing that all parents have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not all parents have the resources to be able to do that. Opportunity. Small businesses. My second mother, our second mother, who helped raise us, was a small business.
All right, so she never talks about the goddamn plan. She never talks about it. He brings it up. I mean, maybe she does in the last, I don't know, minute and a half that's left in this video. But this ought to give you, black men, a good idea of what's actually going on here. All right? Now, before we get into the plan, right? First, I just want to show you guys how awful this interview actually went for her. Okay? Let's look at the comments. I'm telling you guys, this is a disaster. And we're going to get to her plan and then we're going to get out of here. But let's look at the comments real quick. Let's look at the comments. Look at this. Look at this, man. Did she really just use "in these streets" line again? She only says that with black people. Another person says, VP Harris, what did you eat for breakfast this morning? I grew up in the middle class. Someone says, she forgot Trump was president for 4 years already. When did he move us backwards during his term? Straight up gaslighting. Facts. Another person says, so y'all gonna act like she just didn't ignore the question about Obama? Facts. Another person says, the more she talks, the more I see why Joe kept her hidden. Another person says, this interview is 2 MFs we don't need. Blood clot. Another person says, can we get some straight black men to speak for us? Blood clot. Let's go, bro. Somebody says, she's clueless if she thinks she can reach black men on the shade room, like I said earlier.
Take the weed and leave the money now.
Take the what and left the what?
Bro, they're destroying her. Like this went totally left. Let's go. She says, another person says, quote unquote, look, I grew up in the middle class. Another person says, newsflash, black America doesn't need anyone telling them how to vote. Come on, man. Blood clot. Someone else says, what the F did I just watch? They can't be serious with this BS.
Take the weed and leave the money now.
Take the what and left the what?
Another person says, well, I talked to my black bus driver and he said the reason black men don't like her is because she sent a lot of brothers to prison for minor cases and he won't be voting for her. Okay. Another person says, she say the same thing over and over again. Another person says, Kamala, why is it that you complain about getting the straight black male vote, but turn around, have some flamboyant black man interview you with softball questions? I say, black man, this is not appealing. It's bizarre.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about?
Then someone says, Kamala won't even give black men the time of day if she wasn't polling this badly. The other person says, only black men like this will vote for her. And by this, I think he's talking about the interviewer. The other person says, her open border policy last 3 years is why there is housing shortages. Someone says, thank goodness they're covering the hard topics people care about. Sarcasm. Blood clot. I'm so glad they talked about Beyonce as a voter. That was my primary concern and issue to consider before the ballot box. Blood clot. I'll tell you, they're cooking this woman, bro. Go to this video. It's all Kamala getting cooked. It's all Kamala getting cooked. This was a disaster, bro. They're just cooking her the whole time, bro. The whole time. So if you get a chance, man, go to the Shade Room. Go to the Shade Room and check it out. Check out the whole video if you want to see what Kamala has in store for black men. But yeah, man. So there we have it, man. This was a complete disaster for Kamala Harris. Now, real quick, before we get to the calls, I want to go through this plan she has that's allegedly for black men. All right? I want to do this real quick, and then we'll get the hell out of here. All right? Shit, we've been here for like, what, almost an hour and a half. Let's get through this real quick, and then we're out of here. All right? Let's go. Give me a second. Let me get to this shit. All right. This is a one-man production, people. All right? I gotta respect that. All right. So we have Kamala's. Let's get this whole plan up here. We have Kamala Harris's plan for what she plans to do for black men, right? Now, I can read this whole 9 pages, right? I can read this whole 9 pages. But in the interest of time, what I want to do for you guys, and I'll leave the link to this document in my description after the show. I'll leave the link, right? But what I want to do is point out a few things, right? So the main thing that she says she's going to do in this plan for black men, mind you, is that she's going to provide $1 million loans that are fully forgivable to black entrepreneurs. Now, let's look at the fine print here. It says, providing $1 million loans that are fully forgivable to black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. Who are others? Who are the others? Let's explore who the others are. Let's go down to this paragraph, right? And you guys could go read this for yourself. In the interest of time, I'm just gonna make this quick. But she says she will ensure that black men can build wealth and achieve economic success by one, providing $1 million loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000 to black entrepreneurs and others who have historically faced barriers to starting a new business or growing an existing business in partnership with trusted organizations like mission-driven lenders and banks with a proven commitment to their communities. Now, what do they mean by others facing barriers? What do they mean by others facing barriers? By others facing barriers, they're basically telling you that they're going to do the same thing with this piece of legislation, if they even pass it, that they did to the civil rights movement, which is benign neglect. Which is basically, we're going to create a policy that encompasses everyone who isn't a heterosexual, non-disabled white male. Meaning, if a white man who puts on a wig and declares that he is a woman, without any surgery, nothing, throws on a wig and declares he's a woman, he will then be able to apply for the same $1 million loan as you, black man, who this is allegedly intended for, and there's not nothing you can do about it. Why is that? Because under the Democrats and Joe Biden, now sexual preference and sexual identity are now protected under human rights and civil rights laws. This is a big joke. This is a big joke. And this woman has no intentions of doing anything for black men. And honestly, she has no intentions of doing anything for black people in general. The front of the list will be white men in wigs, white women, and immigrants. And then the next tier of black people will be LGBTQIA plus black people, black women, and at the bottom and the back of the line, guess who it's going to be? Black men. This entire document does not specify, number one, anything for black men, and number two, it doesn't specify anything for black people in general. It says black men and others who are marginalized. And we all know what the word marginalized means. So miss me with this crap. Y'all want to complain about Trump all day. When Trump came out with the platinum plan, Trump's platinum plan specifically said black people. Now granted, that would have needed work too, because regardless if you're Trump, Biden, Harris, whoever, you can't pass legislation based on race. That's not going to work. So we could have worked with Trump on that. But at least Trump's plan specifically said for black people. We're going to do this for black people. Now granted, there could be more work with that because all black people should not fall under foundational black Americans or American descendants of slavery, period. They should not. Because we are the only group of black people in this country that, if you're going to give away something, okay. Now granted, I'm not one of these guys that think we should get something free from the government. But if the government is going to do something, it should not encompass all these other getwits who are Johnny-come-latelys. It should come to the people who actually were in the streets fighting for the shit, who've been here since the inception of the country. But clearly, as you can see with this legislation or with this proposed plan by Kamala Harris, it doesn't state any of that. It says black men and everybody else who's not a white heterosexual man without a disability. That's basically what it states. So you niggas can fall for that shit if you want to. You compare that shit to Trump's platinum plan from 2000, it doesn't even compare, because at least Trump specifically made that plan for blacks. Granted, that's also racist because you can't do things based on race. You cannot do that. So it would have to be lineage based. It would have to be, you would have to frame it as though it's American descendants of slavery, which is a great term. If you descend from ancestors who had slaves, you get it. And that actually is interracial, because there's plenty of white people who have black ancestors who were slaves. So a lot of people would benefit. But a couple more comparisons. Kamala's plan for quote unquote black people only involved about $20 billion. Why do I say that? Because she said she's willing to give $1,020,000 loans to small businesses to help them with websites and whatever. That's $20 billion that she's willing to dedicate to whoever in the hell isn't a white man without a wig that's not disabled. Trump's platinum plan that he proposed in 2020 offered $500 billion in business incentives for black people specifically. So, I mean, it is what it is. And then, you know, Biden, Harris, in 2020 had a plan too. It was called the Lift Every Voice Plan. Lift Every Voice Plan. The Lift Every Voice Plan looks a lot like Harris's new plan for black men. It's a bunch of nonsense that at the end of the day, when you read the fine print, includes everybody. Any and everybody could get in on this loan. Any and everybody could get in on what they allegedly put aside for black men. Read the fine print. So what are we talking about? Man, niggas hit me up early, arguing me down, man. She got a plan, blah, blah, blah. Read the goddamn plan, bro. Read the fine print. The fine print says everybody gets a piece. It's not for the black man. She just titled it Black Men, and then in the fine print, she put everybody can get one. Even a white man. A white man can get it. All you gotta do is just degrade himself and put on a wig. He gets it too. But with that being said, man, what I want to do is I want to take some calls. So I'm going to go to a quick commercial break. First, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Hold on. Give me a second. So the link's in the chat. If you got something to say, I want you to call in. I pinned it to the top. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. All right, people? Let's get it.
Violent crime is surging in Louisiana. Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
It may be a bad shot, but this is real. I mean, the bones, that's real.
Yeah, my bones, yeah. I'm 5'7" and thin. I can understand what you mean.
But that's not just thin.
No, what is it? Diane, tell me. Do you know?
It's scary thin.
I can believe what you feel. I can believe that. But do you really know? Did you really know?
No, you know.
Thank you.
Anorexia.
No way.
They've written it.
No way.
Bulimia.
No way.
That it's because of drugs.
No. Now, I grant you, I partied. But there have been times when I know I was going through a lot of emotional stress, and my eating habits were awful.
Whitney dying. Crack rehab fails.
First of all, let's get one thing straight. Crack is cheap. I make too much money to ever smoke crack. Let's get that straight, okay?
Hey, Cookie, more pecani sauce. Yeah. This ain't paste pecani sauce. What's the difference? Cookie, paste pecani sauce is made in San Antonio with fresh vegetables and spices by people who know what pecani sauce is supposed to taste like.
This stuff's made in New York City?
New York City?
Get a rope.
Pick up the original pecani sauce. Pick up the pace.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better, Mentos fresh. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
I'm Michael Jordan. McDonald's restaurants have given me this time to
to talk to you about something we both really care about, kids. Kids are the reason McDonald's sponsors their Get It Straight program, a national drug awareness effort. Think about this. Many of you using drugs out there now are under 18. Do you realize that at 18, you have lived only 1/4 of your life? When you're using drugs, you're only cheating yourself out of the chance to find out who you really can be. And believe me, if you don't use drugs, you can just about be anything you want to be. Listen, you got at least 3/4 of your life to go. That's 3 more lifetimes to you. So don't blow it. Don't do drugs. If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help. McDonald's wants you to give yourself a chance to find out all the wonderful things you really can be. And so do I.
I don't want to be hungover at work tomorrow. You can't let the fact that you work tomorrow stop you from drinking tonight. Going to work with a hangover is just a part of being an adult. But if you're going to be hungover, you might as well get paid for it. Grab a few drinks and live in the moment, because a hangover is tomorrow's problem.
All right, we're back. No worries, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have any takers to call in, which is great, because I am ready to go to sleep. So on that note, whether you agree, you disagree, or you're indifferent, do me a favor, comment in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and select all for myself and the rest of the crew here at Trippin Ain't Easy TV. Peace out. Catch you on the next one. And also, you must remember, tripping ain't easy, but somebody's got to do it.